So in the last class we had covered this. We'll start with psychological tests in this class. So there are various types of psychological tests. We have intelligence test, aptitude test, achievement test, personality test. I first want to start by asking you, what is an intelligence test? We have covered intelligence so far. Who was the person who developed the first intelligence test? We have covered this. Alfred Binet was the first person who developed an intelligence test. What does an intelligence test cover? It assesses the global mental ability. Thinking, reasoning, comprehension, perception, all this would be covered in a intelligence test and you will get a global figure. How is an intelligence test different from an aptitude test? What is an aptitude and what does an aptitude test measure? Yes. So mental ability, which is measured by intelligence, is a global ability. It is a general global ability. On the other hand, aptitude is always task specific or domain specific. For example, you will have aptitude for psychology. You either have or do not have aptitude for studying engineering. We don't call it intelligence. Aptitude tests measure your capability to perform well in a certain area, task or subject. So when you give your CUETs, what are we really measuring? Your intelligence or aptitude? Aptitude for doing a bachelor's degree. Okay, so if I take an example that by the end of the semester, after you have covered your PID course, I will take a test, right, to see whether you have learnt everything or not. That becomes your intelligence test, aptitude test or neither. That is intelligence test, aptitude test or neither of the two. Neither? You agree? All of you agree? Then what type of test is that? That becomes achievement test. What does an achievement test do? An achievement test captures your past knowledge about a specific domain, whether you have got the past learning or not. So when we do a test to assess future or predict future performance, we conduct an aptitude test. When we use tests to monitor past learning, we are conducting an achievement test. An intelligence test is done for global assessment. So these are the definitions. It measures an individual's ability in relatively global areas. It gives an overall summary score. On the other hand, aptitude test measures capability of relatively specific task. For example, occupation, training, SAT and such endeavors. Then we have achievement tests. So achievement tests measure a degree of learning, success or accomplishment. Aptitude tests are done to forecast future performance and achievement tests are done to monitor past learning. Now we will go to another section of tests, which are personality tests. But before that, I want to share that intelligence tests can either be verbal or it can be non-verbal. Verbal would mean that you are given statements and you are responding to that statement to measure your intelligence. On the other hand, you can be given patterns or figures. Like in Raven's progressive matrices, did any one of you conduct that test on yourself? Raven's progressive matrices to measure your IQ. So in that test, we have patterns and figures. We don't have any statements. That is a non-verbal test. Then moving on to personality tests. All of you have done Big 5 personality questionnaire. That is a personality test. What does a personality test do? It captures your traits, qualities, characteristics. Alright. A personality test can either be objective, such as Big 5, where your scoring, your conduction, everything is standardized, such that irrespective of who is the person conducting the test, you will get the same scores. Whether I score it, he scores it, or he scores it, your personality will remain the same, right? So these are self-report objective personality tests. On the other hand, there are another kind of tests which are called projective techniques. So in projective techniques, we are trying to understand the unconscious aspect of your personality. In self-report test, you will only respond to the items as far as you know about your personality. What you know, you will respond. But there are aspects of personality and aspects of mind that you yourself might not be aware of. To understand those things, we use projective techniques. So projective techniques are focused on understanding the unconscious aspect. Now the stimuli that is used in projective techniques are different. In standard objective tests, you are given statements that you have to respond to. In projective techniques, you are given ambiguous stimuli. For example, Rorschach ink block test. In that, what do? We take a paper, we take certain ink, we'll put the ink on the paper, we'll cover it up with another paper. What we'll get is ink blots. Now these ink blots are very random. They do not have specific meaning, they do not have specific shape. They are just abstract entities. I will ask you, what do you see in these ink blots? Now whatever pattern you see, whatever meaning that you give to that ink blot is determined by your own thinking. Your unconscious mind is giving or attributing some meaning to the ink blots. I as a psychologist will then assess what does your interpretation about the ink blot say about you, right? Another example of projective technique can be sentence completion test. In sentence completion test, I will just give you 2-3 words and ask you to complete the entire sentence. For example, complete this sentence, I am good dash dash dash. Can you complete this sentence? I am good dash dash dash. With the first thought that comes to your mind. I am good at teaching. That's what she came up with. Now as a psychologist, I will analyze what she has written and try to understand her personality. What my interpretation of your personality would be can be different from what he develops, which means in projective techniques, the inter-scorer consistency tends to be low. Therefore, person needs to be thoroughly trained in using projective techniques. It is not as objective as the standardized methods like Big 5 personality tests. So the person trying to understand your personality using the projective technique will undergo a specific course to conduct a particular test. And there might be bias. Your bias in the sense that your interpretation of the personality developed by one scorer might be different from the one that is developed by some other scorer, because it is a projective technique. There are still norms etc. that are developed to ensure standardization, but still they tend to differ. Now another type of test that we have are interest tests. So whenever we need to understand your interest, for example, what is the right career for you, we have to make you undergo an interest test. So in interest test, we put a list of all the possible interests and we ask them to the participant to mark the degree of interest that you have for all these activities. We also try to compete interest in one activity with the other. For example, ऐसा हो सकता है कि आता है कि you have interest in painting and you also have interest in gardening. But if I have to determine in which area do you have more interest, I will make your interest for gardening compete with the interest for painting and then see in which area does your interest lie. So career assessments के लिए which is the right career for you, one person might have to undergo interest test. Then we have something called attitude tests. You are also doing an attitude test as a part of your social psychology practical. where you are assessing your attitude towards religion, your attitude towards nationality, your attitude towards education and teachers. So any attitude is a set of beliefs that you have about a certain topic. So there are various tests that are developed to measure your attitude towards a certain issue. Then we have emotional intelligence test. We also discussed emotional intelligence when we were discussing intelligence. Emotional intelligence consists of how many components? 4. Perceiving your own emotion, perceiving other people's emotions, managing your own emotion, managing other people's emotion. Right? These are the various dimensions. Daniel Goleman talks about 5 dimensions: social skills, self-awareness, self-management, empathy, motivation. So all these things are measured by intelligence test. Then we have another category called mood and motivation tests. This will measure the level of motivation that you have about specific thing. Coming to the second subsection of the tests, we have specific clinical tests. If I want to find out whether you have anxiety or depression or stress, or you are suffering from say OCD or any other clinical issue, I will most probably give you MMPI. MMPI is the name of a test. Full form is Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. Through this test, you can understand whether you are going through neurosis or psychosis. Alright, so for diagnosing disorders, you can also use tests. These are used for clinical purposes. Then you have certain tests that are neuropsychological tests. These tests are specifically designed to assess deficits in your brain structures. For example, is your speech proper or not? Deficits in your cognition. So these might not be specifically paper pencil tests, could be performance tests, but this will test whether there are any neurological or neuropsychological deficits or defects in your brain structures. Okay. So these are the various types of tests. Why do we need these tests? What are the application or implications of using these tests? First, we need tests for classification. What do we mean by classification? If I am conducting a personality test, I am classifying you as either an extrovert or an introvert, as either emotionally stable or unstable, as open-minded or not, as intelligent or average. If I conduct an intelligence test, either you are intelligent or you are average or you are retarded or you belong to a certain category. This will help determine what kind of schooling is best for you. If you are gifted, you need special schools. If you are retarded, you again need special schools. If you are average, you need uniform schools, right? Depending upon your personality, you can choose your occupation accordingly. So classification helps us make important decisions. Therefore, and these tests help us classify individuals into various categories. Then we need tests for research purpose. Now I will do a research to see whether which kind of personality or what kind of people tend to be the happiest. Research shows that extroverts tend to be happier than introverts. Extroverts tend to be more successful than introverts. All this I am getting through research. So I need testing for research purposes. Then you need testing for your own knowledge about yourself, for self-knowledge. You need to know what is your personality, you need to know what is your intelligence level, you need to know what is your aptitude. Similarly, through these various knowledge, you will take a right decision for yourself, whether it is about your career, whether it is about your partner, whether it is about a city that you would want to live in. So self-knowledge is also important. Then we need to understand if we are suffering from any disorders or not. We need clinical tests for diagnosis and treatment planning. So if suppose through testing I get to know that you are suffering from anxiety, or if I get to know that you are suffering from depression, then I can diagnose you as somebody who is dealing with certain mental illness and can develop a treatment plan accordingly. So we need clinical tests for diagnosis and treatment purposes. At the end, we need tests for program evaluation. So suppose right now you are undergoing a program. PID class is like a program that you are undergoing. I can evaluate whether you have learned something or not. How will I make sure that you have learned something? Through doing a pre-post test or taking an achievement test. By the end of this session, if I take an achievement test and I get to know that your knowledge for psychology has increased, that would mean that you have learned something, which means that this course was a good initiative. So it helps evaluate the course itself, whether it was a good course, whether it led to increase in knowledge or not. Or if everything was same as what you had studied in during your 12th grade, then it is not really an add-on. So you can disregard this course altogether. So for program evaluation purpose also, testing is important. So now we have covered types of tests as well as applications of tests. We'll move towards reliability. The next topic that we are covering is reliability. What do we mean by reliability? As described in the last class, reliability means consistency. So आज इस टेबल की लेंथ क्या है, आप कैसे मेजर करोगे? You will take a measuring tape or a ruler and you will measure it. Tomorrow will the length be the same or not? Same. It can either increase or decrease. How do you know? You will again measure and you will see it is the same. What if आपका measurement आता है different? What will you say is faulty? Is the table faulty or is there something wrong with the ruler? Ruler? Okay. For example, कभी ऐसा होता है कि आप अपना weight measure करते हो. You stand on a weighing machine. It says say that you are 52. आप उतरते हो, आप 5 minutes का ब्रेक लेते हो, आप फिर से weighing scale पे ऊपर चढ़ते हो, फिर आप देखते हो अब आपका weight आ रहा है 54. The problem, so is your weight fluctuating or is the problem with the weighing scale? Right? So there is a possibility that the measure that we are using can be faulty, that it is not consistent. So we need to ensure that the measure that we are using to measure anything shows consistency. So here the measure that we are talking about are psychological tests. All the psychological tests need to show consistency. Their scores cannot keep varying. How do I ensure that the test is reliable or consistent? One method is to compute test retest reliability, which means I will administer a test. After a given period of time, I will administer the test again. Test and then retest. Then I will compute correlation between the two scores. If the correlation is high and positive, the test is reliable. If the correlation is low, means the test has low reliability. अगर मैं आज आपको इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट दूँ और आपको मैं 6 months के बाद वही सेम इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट दूँ, सेम स्कोर आना चाहिए, then only we can say that the test is consistent. This is test retest reliability. अब the fact that you had taken that test before means आपकी थोड़ी बहुत प्रैक्टिस हो गई है, थोड़ा बहुत लर्निंग हो गई है. हो सकता है that your performance in the test that you will do after 6 months will be better because of learning, because of maturation, because of practice. Now here, how do I take this into account? Because अगर ऐसा होगा तो हमारे तो टेस्ट में कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं आएगी. Then we can use another method which is called alternative form methods or equivalent form methods. So here what I'll do is I'll create two similar tests, test A and test B. I will first make you administer test A, then I will give you test B, and then I'll compute the correlation between the two tests. अगर correlation positive हुआ मतलब alternative form reliability is high, correlation low है मतलब alternate form reliability is low. इसमें drawback क्या आ सकता है? इसमें from the psychologist end they have to make sure that the two tests are equivalent in all respect. Questions का difficulty level should be the same. अगर एक टेस्ट सपोज थोड़ा सिंपल हो गया तो कोरिलेशन फिर से फ्लक्चुएट कर जाएगा. इन नंबर ऑफ आइटम्स, in terms of ease, in terms of speed, in terms of power, the two tests have to be very similar. This becomes difficult for psychologists to prepare. और क्या कर सकते हैं हम to overcome this limitation? We come up with something else which is called split half reliability. This is the third kind of reliability, split half reliability. इसमें मैं एक टेस्ट लूँगी, उस टेस्ट को हाफ में डिवाइड कर दूँगी. 50% वन हाफ बन गया, लास्ट का 50% दूसरा हाफ बन गया, एंड इन टू हाफ्स का कोरिलेशन निकालूंगी. इफ देयर इज हाई कोरिलेशन देन टेस्ट इज रिलायबल, लो कोरिलेशन टेस्ट इज नॉट रिलायबल. What happens if the test is a power test, which means difficulty keeps increasing item by item. जैसे Raven's progressive matrices हैं, first few questions are very easy, धीरे धीरे difficulty बढ़ती आती है और टेस्ट बहुत difficult होता जाता है. तो जो first half होगा that will not show good correlation with the second half because first half was easy, second half was difficult. How do I overcome that issue? I can compute split half reliability using odd even method. सारे odd items एक ग्रुप में आ जाएंगे, सारे even items दूसरे ग्रुप में आ जाएंगे, और इन दो ग्रुप का correlation निकाल के reliability निकाल देंगे. So what are the various kinds of reliability that we have discussed? Since there is no electricity, there is test retest. Then we have alternate forms. Third we have split half. स्प्लिट हाफ में मैंने आपको बताया टू काइंड्स हो सकते हैं. एक आपने 50% लिया, टॉप 50% एंड बॉटम 50%, right? And another technique can be odd items become one group and even items become the other group. These two are simple to compute. जो हम यूज़ करेंगे इसको कंप्यूट करने के लिए रिलायबिलिटी को, उसको हम बोलते हैं कोएफिशिएंट अल्फा. ओके. स्प्लिट हाफ रिलायबिलिटी को कंप्यूट करने के लिए देयर इज अनदर फॉर्मूला विच इज कॉल्ड स्पीयरमैन ब्राउन फॉर्मूला. स्पीयरमैन ब्राउन प्रोफेसी formula. Now the fourth kind of reliability is inter-rater reliability. Inter-rater reliability means that there has to be consistency between the score that I am generating and he is generating and he is generating. जैसे प्रोजेक्टिव टेक्निक के लिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है. ऑब्जेक्टिव टेस्ट होगा तो इंटर-रेटर रिलायबिलिटी तो वैसे ही हाई होगी बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड. वी नीड इंटर-रेटर रिलायबिलिटी मोर इन प्रोजेक्टिव टेस्ट. इंटर-रेटर रिलायबिलिटी मीन्स irrespective of who is the psychologist administering the test, your result has to be the same. मैं करूँ या ये करे आपका रिजल्ट सेम आना चाहिए. जनरली इंटर-रेटर रिलायबिलिटी कंप्यूट करने के लिए वी डोंट यूज जस्ट 1 or 2 रेटर्स, वी नीड एटलीस्ट 5 to 10 रेटर्स, राइट. सो रेटर इज द पर्सन और द साइकोलॉजिस्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रिंग द टेस्ट. अब अगर मैं आपको बोलती हूँ आप एक एसे लिखो ऑन योर सेल्फ और योर पर्सनैलिटी, जो आपका बिग 5 है वो तो ऑब्जेक्टिव है. अगर आप अपना एक एसे लिखते हो अपने आप के ऊपर और फिर मैं उसको रीड करके कुछ अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप करती हूँ अबाउट योर पर्सनैलिटी, माई अंडरस्टैंडिंग विल बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट ही विल डेवलप अबाउट यू. ही माई डेवलप ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट अंडरस्टैंडिंग. अगर सबकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग आपके ऐसे को लेकर डिफरेंट है तो हम आपका पर्सनैलिटी को ठीक से डायग्नोस नहीं कर सकते. ओनली व्हेन ऑल आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग अबाउट यू विल बिकम कंसिस्टेंट, देन वी कैन से दैट द इंटर-रेटर रिलायबिलिटी of your personality diagnosis is accurate. Okay, this is mainly used for projective techniques or qualitative data. इसको इंटर स्कोरर रिलायबिलिटी भी कहते हैं, स्कोरर रिलायबिलिटी भी कहते हैं. ठीक है. सो दीज आर द वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ रिलायबिलिटीज. हाँ, मिनिमम 6 months, 6 months to 1 year का टाइम पीरियड लेकर चलेंगे कि एटलीस्ट इट शुड नॉट बी वेरी फ्रेश इन योर माइंड. ठीक है. सो आई थिंक आज का जो था हमने कवर कर लिया है. एक और चीज़ मैं डिस्कस कर देती हूँ, वो है, उसको बोलते हैं कूडर रिचर्डसन. Cooder-Richardson coefficient. This is computed to calculate inter-item reliability. अब inter-item reliability क्या होता है? Suppose आपका टेस्ट है जिसमें 10 आइटम्स हैं. 10 आइटम्स हैं जहाँ पे आपका टोटल स्कोर है. अगर टेस्ट हैज़ टू बी रिलायबल तो आपका आइटम 1 का स्कोर शुड बी पॉजिटिवली रिलेटेड टू योर टोटल स्कोर, राइट. आइटम 2 का स्कोर शुड बी पॉजिटिवली रिलेटेड टू योर टोटल स्कोर. सिमिलरली फॉर एवरी आइटम देयर शुड बी पॉजिटिव रिलेशन विद द टोटल स्कोर. दिस मीन्स इंटर आइटम रिलायबिलिटी, मतलब हर आइटम रिलायबिलिटी प्रिडिक्ट कर रहा है कि हमारा स्कोर जो टेस्ट है वो कंसिस्टेंट है कि नहीं है. नाउ दिस यूजेस अ मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड फार्मूला. इट इज़ नॉट अ सिंपल कोरिलेशन बिटवीन टू थिंग्स. यहाँ पे अब 10 आइटम्स की बात कर रही हूँ. जनरली टेस्ट में तो 200 आइटम्स होते हैं. हर अगर मैं टेस्ट का इंटर आइटम रिलायबिलिटी तो मैनुअली कंप्यूट नहीं कर सकते. उसके लिए वी हैव मोर सोफिस्टिकेटेड फार्मूला कॉल्ड कूडर-रिचर्डसन कोएफिशिएंट. You don't have to compute all this, but for just your knowledge that these things exist, therefore we are teaching you. These are 5 kinds of reliabilities. In the next class, we will capture validity. We will cover validity as well as history of psychological testing. History of psychological testing, कैसे psychological testing evolve हुआ, और हम cover करेंगे validity of tests. ये हमने रिलायबिलिटी कवर किया है विच इज़ कंसिस्टेंसी. वैलिडिटी इज वेदर द टेस्ट इज मेजरिंग व्हाट इट इज सपोज टू मेजर, दैट इज वैलिडिटी. वी विल कवर वैलिडिटी इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास विच विल हैपन ऑन संडे.